Hi, I'm Randy Alvarez. Welcome to this week's Randy Alvarez Video Blog Marketing Report. Today's lesson, we're going to talk a little bit about what's holding you back from taking action with your goals. I was on the telephone this week with a plastic surgeon, well-known plastic surgeon, and he was telling me his excuses. He finally decided to move forward with a production, but what he said to me, his reason for not moving forward is the same reason why I'm not moving forward with some of my goals and why some of you aren't moving forward with some of your goals. And so we had this conversation and he said, Randy, I'm finally ready. He goes, I just don't feel ready to do it. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to leave out. He had all of these things, okay? So the thing that holds us all back seems to be, number one, fear. Number two, your perfectionism. That means that you're sitting around waiting until everything's perfect. The economy's perfect, till you have the right content, till you have the right things to say. And that holds me back too. I'm about to do this online training program and I'm waiting because I don't feel like I'm quite ready. And oftentimes when you jump into things, you have to move forward in a scared position. You can't sit around waiting for everything to be perfect or for your story to be perfect or your business ideas to be perfect, because chances are it'll never happen. But what I'm seeing in business, and this happens to especially those that are seasoned, those of you that have already been in business for many years, it's this sense of entitlement that holds you back. This plastic surgeon said something that I thought was fantastic, but applies to all of our lives, especially mine. He said, Randy, as a board certified plastic surgeon, I shouldn't have to advertise. I shouldn't have to do video on the web. I shouldn't have to update my website. He says, the problem is all of these non-board certified cosmetic guys, he says, are kicking my butt. Guys with less credentials, less training, less experience are beating him. And so he sits around with a sense of entitlement saying, I shouldn't have to do this because of my education, because of my certification. And the bottom line, we all know about kids that have this sense of entitlement, go into the real world, and the world just doesn't work that way. But all of us could learn from this conversation I had with this doctor, which is, look, you're going to have, no matter who you are, you've got to get this complacent attitude, this sense of entitlement, and get past it, move above it. Same thing with me. I'm thinking, well, I shouldn't have to do on-site training. I shouldn't have to go, because I don't go to these conventions. I don't go to the dental meetings or the plastic surgery meetings or the heart meetings. And I sit back and I almost think that I shouldn't have to because of my incredible word of mouth, because of the quality of the work we're doing. Well, I got news for you. That's a lazy mentality. But not just for me, but for you. You have the things in your life that you could be doing, okay? Very important. But the most important thing here is your perfectionism. All of us. And I'm telling you, you talk to a psychologist, an MD psychologist, and what they'll tell you is that one of the things that keeps everybody from procrastinating with their goals is perfectionism. Waiting for everything to be right. You have to move forward and being scared. When I bungee jumped, it was a great lesson. I was no way going to bungee jump at the fair, but my 9-year-old son, he's 10 years old now, but 9-year-old son, when he said he was going to do it, I thought I had to do it. I dreaded it. I didn't want to do it. And Tony Robbins does the same metaphor with fire walking. He recently did this with Oprah Winfrey. But when I was done bungee jumping, I was so afraid. I had to push myself, literally. In fact, I got in that cage. I was about to bungee jump. And in fact, it was over cement. There was a little bag, but when you bounce up, you end up over cement. So, there's a fear of dying there, right? But when it was all done, I was exhilarated. And it actually pumped me up to think, what other things do I have to push myself? Enter with fear and push myself, because at the end, you feel better for it. So don't let your perfectionism get in your way. And there's another thing is, when I was 20 years old, I was working, I was selling whatever, and I'll leave that part out, but I was working and at that time, I think I was driving a motorcycle. I didn't have a car, and there was this fancy Maserati, and to me, that was like my dream car at the time. And the person, in fact, it was Harry Bloomfield. I think he wrote How to Survive the Loss of a Love. And he had a best-selling book at the time. And he's driving this Maserati, and he wasn't giving me the time of day, but I went up to him and I said, hey, what's the secret? What's the secret to success? I mean, when you look at a guy like me and I'm here wasting my time selling things, what can I do? And he goes, well, what are your goals? What are your dreams? And I told him quickly what they were. And he said, I'm going to give you a lesson right now. It's called just do it. do it. So if there are things you want to do, whether it's a production or video on your web or starting a new business or doing public seminars, he told me just do it. And this was before the Nike campaign came out, I believe, because this was about 1983, 1985. And that simple lesson was, look, just do it. That's it. That's this week's report. We'll see you next week.